Hello everyone, it's WW2. Just recently, probably one of the last major updates left for World War II just released recently with the new map pack. And I just got to say, the new content is quite insane and brings a whole lot of different strategies to the table. For example, we got the Commando Division, which is pretty much what Airborne should have been. And I'm definitely planning to cover this division more in depth, but that'll be reserved for a different video. So instead, today I wanted to cover something that really caught my eye in this update, and that is the Catalyst Basic Training. To go over this basic training briefly, Catalyst allows you to temporarily boost your quote-unquote weapon handling for approximately 8 seconds by injecting yourself with a serum that recharges its use within a 30-second time period. I know that based on this given description, it all seems kind of vague. However, after using it for a couple matches, it behaves very similar to the specialist abilities in other Call of Duty games, where you must wait for a recharge that persists through deaths. But however, unlike the typical specialist abilities, Catalyst will not recharge faster even if you earn score through things such as kills or objectives. As for the buffs it gives, at a glance, Catalyst will buff your fire rate, aim down sights time, hipfire accuracy, and reload speed. But I should also note that due to the increased fire rate, your recoil will also increase just due to the sheer number of bullets that you'll be putting downstream. So instead of just trying to describe what Catalyst does, let's just jump straight to the statistics. Looking at the most important feature first, which is how much of a fire rate boost does Catalyst grant, and how does it scale on each weapon class. The answer to this was much simpler than I initially thought, as through hand testing, Catalyst boosts your fire rate by a whopping 36% across all weapon classes, and this is indeed 5 times a boost compared to the rapid fire attachment, which generally sits at around a 7% boost on whatever weapon it's applied on. What is even better is that when you use rapid fire and Catalyst, they actually stack together, which on average this combo grants a 45% boost to RPM, which is downright insane on my opinion. Moving on to the next topic though, due to how the fire rate boost is applied as a percentage multiplication, so this means that weapons with a high native fire rate are subject to getting a bigger boost to their RPM, while slower weapons will typically get a smaller boost to their RPM. And since this is the case, I find Catalyst to be best on weapons with a decently high fire rate, a high mag capacity, and have low recoil or good hip firing properties. So this leads me to recommend weapons like the Lewis MG18, the M1941, STG44, Volk, and pretty much all the SMGs really. But an honorable mention goes to both the MG15 and WW28, as with the fire rate and hip fire boosts, paired with extended mags and steady aim, they both become very melty as they have unrivaled hipfire capabilities and a really good fire rate to begin with. So that leads them to being able to mow down enemies with very little effort. So I'd highly recommend giving these two weapons a go. Now with the fire rate buff sorted out, this leaves us with the reload boost. This boost gives you an identical copy to Hustle, as there's absolutely zero difference between the two, and equally important, the faster reload even continues when Catalyst expires, so long as you started the reload when the ability was still active. Which is very useful as most people are likely to burn through an entire mag easily with Catalyst, so it is always a welcomed addition. But unlike with the fire rate, Catalyst is not stackable with Hustle in this aspect if you're using them both in the Commando Division. However, it still might not be a bad decision to run the both of them, as at least Hustle works all the time compared to just being an active ability such as Catalyst. And now for the next trait, the aim down sights boost. And just like with the fire rate, getting a massive buff from Catalyst, ADS time also follows the same path. Keeping in mind that I can only record in 30 FPS, there will be some noticeable errors in my measurement here due to aiming down sights being a generally fast action. But regardless of the fact, my best estimate is that Catalyst cuts down ADS time in half across every weapon class, which is just incredible considering that Quick Draw only reduces this time by 20% on average and is only limited to some select guns. But finally, for the last trait, Catalyst will also significantly tighten your hipfire spread by about the same magnitude as Steady Aim, and will also stack with Steady Aim as well to make aiming down sights on some weapons completely redundant. As just like I mentioned earlier in the video, this is where shotguns and high rate of fire weapons really excel, as you can really just decimate opponents very quickly, especially when using Gunslinger, as all the hipfire buffs really keep the accuracy in check. But lastly, I would like to say that compared to the other basic trainings, Catalyst is quite an amazing perk and should not be underestimated. The only real downside with Catalyst that I see is its lengthy activation time that lasts for about 2 seconds. But I would say it's well called for, as it encourages more strategic use rather than just being able to pop it off randomly when you need it. Although one issue that I found with it is that the animation actually cuts into the boost time, which means instead of having the full 8 seconds of use, you'll only be able to fire for about 6.5 seconds of the Catalyst duration. So while a 1.5 second reduction might not sound like much to some, to put this into perspective, you'll be pretty much wasting 20% of the boost just due to the animation. And all I can say is that I hope they'll fix this sort of bug and a hotfix in the near future. So in closing, would I say that I recommend Catalyst? I would say yeah. It works very well with the Commando division, as you'll get better health regeneration paired with amazing fire rate boosts and ADS times. And it will also ultimately allow you to be insanely aggressive throughout the match, as you'll really have nothing to hold you back. Plus, you'll also be able to pick another basic training, which will definitely help, as you won't always have Catalyst ready. But that's all for the video. I really appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by, and if you like this content, please feel free to like or share the video, and until the next one.